Greetings and salutations, everybody. Thank you for watching. I'm Colonel Fancy, and this is game pickups and a little bit of news updates. First off, I apologize for not being able to put up any new content in the last couple of months. October and November kind of got me a little bit by the leash. I had a bunch of trips planned. There were just a whole bunch of things that got in the way, and I have not been able to put up a great deal of original content. I intend to rectify that. Oh, and also, if you saw my Double Dragon review, I said that a Halloween spooktacular was supposed to happen. Well, it didn't, because probably for the 98th time, I've had issues trying to upload and render my footage. I spent 23 days and countless hours recording on multiple forms of media to try and get my stuff to upload and edit it and chop it up, but the format that I was using just didn't work at all and the whole thing was a mess. The Halloween episode's still going to happen. It's just not going to be for Halloween. In fact, I'll probably just split it up into two separate game reviews and, I don't know, make a theme out of it or something. Anywho's, you've probably also noticed the name of the site and the channel is no longer Colonel Fancy Gaming. It's now officially going to be Burned Retinas, doing a little bit of rebranding of sorts, because I want to do more on this channel than just game reviews. The game reviews are fine, but I kind of found myself while organizing my videos and my playlists that once I start doing things like television show reviews and cartoons and anime, it's going to get a little bit cluttered. So I just wanted to come up with a name that would just encompass a broader spectrum of what it is that I intend to do on here in the near and distant future. That being said, I've also been incredibly sleep deprived. I feel like I've been hit by a giant train of Ambien, and being awake is very difficult at the moment. I think I probably averaged maybe 4 hours of sleep over the last 2 months, and it's not good. Don't do that. That's sleep. This video is sponsored by sleep. Get it, because if you don't get sleep, that's bad. It's bad for you. Go to bed. Well, watch this first and then go to bed. So, anyway, that was pretty much it. Just a little bit of rebranding, and I intend to have more original content up, and a couple of things to look out for as far as reviews. I've got Road Day of the Sky Soldier on Wii U. That's a review I'm also working on. I just finished up Star Ocean Faithlessness and Integrity, so that's going to be a review to come soon, and that's going to be my first PlayStation 4 video review. I've only reviewed one other PlayStation 4 game thus far, and it was The Evil Within. I had some choice words to say about that. And also, I haven't gotten a chance to really get into Final Fantasy 15, and I was going to kind of do a bit of a first impressions view, like maybe play the first 20 minutes or so, and broadcast that. Probably not live, because I'm terrified of doing it live. Yeah, so that's going to be something to look forward to, or not. Anywho's, time to get on with the games, and let the magic begin! I guess I'm going to say it probably constitutes as cheating what I'm doing here. I'm just throwing the games in here that I've collected over the last, I want to say, maybe 2 weeks or so since I've been away for so long. So I figured I'll put some of the games in here that I had also picked up along the way. Not a particularly huge load, but a lot of these is kind of a who's who of maybe questionably forgotten games. Maybe some have a lot more sentimental value to others, but they were games that I've been meaning to collect and get my hands on, and yeah, that's the only thing that happened. So, first up, it's Castlevania on the N64. My experience with this game was very brief. I did not like it at the time. Maybe if I play it again, that'll change. But clunky controls and faulty camera, it just wasn't the Castlevania game that I liked at the time. I'm a big fan of the side-scrolling 2D platform jumping and enemy placement, like the classic Zelda games throughout the 16-bit and 8-bit era are my Castlevania games. But this one, it was the first foray into 3D, so every game was trying to do that. Mega Man X7 tried 3D, and it shouldn't have. But things kind of got better with Legends. Legends is a mixed bag. But yeah, this game right here was kind of the beginning of the downfall of Castlevania to me. And yeah, sure, the Igavania games, that's probably a whole other video that I might make later and talk about those, because I have a pretty choice opinion about the term Metroidvania, but not getting into that right now. Castlevania on N64, always wanted it, got it, it can go on the shelf. Next up, sticking with Nintendo, a game that, when I played it at the time, I thought it was kind of a little bit clumsy, but the animation was pretty cool, and I would have liked to have seen another one. The critics did not really give it justice, but I remember playing it a couple of years ago, and I found that I really liked it. Best of the Best Championship Karate on the SNES. Going back and playing this again, it was probably about maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and it's a pretty cool game. I mean, if you're into martial arts, or if you know anything about it, you know that this was pretty ambitious for its time. It's not related to the movies in any specific way, probably just in name alone, or maybe there was a kickboxing tournament called Best of the Best. I didn't particularly follow the sport, so not really sure. But yes, pretty cool fighting game, awesome kickboxing simulator, really fun to play. Once again, sticking with the Nintendo theme, Silver Surfer. It's just a collector in me. I don't even know why I went out of my way to pick this one up, because it's hard as all hell. It's very unfair, but I watched Bootsy on Cinemassacre just completely demolish this game, and he made it look so easy, and me thinking, I can do that. No, I can't. So yeah, I decided, hey, maybe I can get really good at it. So if you hear a report about me being found dead in my bathtub, it's going to be the result of Silver Surfer. Another one that I wanted to add to the list for the long time, and actually to accommodate that, I went out and got myself a Max controller, although this one doesn't really work too well when I tried to test it out. The D-pad's kind of fidgety, or maybe it's always been like that, but I don't know if the capture's picking this up. That seemed natural. I don't remember the red diddly bob being that wiggly. Maybe it's just been a while, but I could have sworn that it was sturdier than that. But yeah, this is the third one of these that I've bought in the last couple of whiles, and they've all felt like that. Perhaps they've just aged poorly. So I got that almost exclusively for Silver Surfer, or any game that requires rapid tapping of the buttons. Once again, sticking with Nintendo, and I had to pick this one up because I've never had Intellivision as a child. Intellivision lives on the GameCube. I got the GameCube version of that just because GameCube. I'll probably pick up the Xbox one. I believe there was a PlayStation 2 port. But yes, I personally never had experience with the Intellivision. We grew up with the Atari 2600 in our house, and I believe that the library is kind of similar. Perhaps there's some variations of certain games on it, like Frogs and Flies. I believe that they had a version of Frogs and Flies, but I'm not 100% certain on that. And I actually would like to track down a working Intellivision as well as a working ColecoVision. So yeah, cool to have this one on the list. It's going to be weird trying to play Intellivision games on an actual control pad instead of one of those number dial things. I've only held one of those a few times when I played a Chuck Norris game on ColecoVision, and that game sucked. So that takes care of that. Up next, sticking with Nintendo for one last time. You know when you reach that point when you're collecting games and you know you're just padding out your library? Well, that's what Time Lord is. Time Lord is a game that you pick up exclusively to pad out your library. Because out of some of the worst NES games I've played, and there's some bad ones out there. I mean, I haven't played all of them, but Time Lord is no good. There is nothing good about this game or the people who made it or what it stands for. It looks bad, it plays bad, it tastes bad, probably smells bad, and I think its parents were awful. It's probably going to be a review. So, yes, that's something to look out for, is Time Lord or Cybernoid. One of those could potentially be a review in the future. Keep your eyes open for that. Yes, don't buy it. It's not good. If you want to collect it, then if you just want to pad out your NES library, still don't get it. And yeah, speaking of padding out a library, I don't give a crap about sports games. I really don't. I'm not good at them, but I just decided to pick up Sega Worldwide Soccer 97. Played it a couple of times in the past. It was okay. Not completely terrible, but I remember having the hardest as hell times trying to score goals in this. So this is another one that's just there to kind of pad out the Saturn library. Didn't have to break the bank for it, so that was good at least. Yes, Worldwide Soccer 97 by Sega Sports, who would become 2K. And also in here is another game. This is one I've never played before because I've talked about it before. My Xbox experience is actually fairly limited because every time I bought an Xbox console, for the most part, they broke. I've had to replace the original Xbox several times, and I've gone through 3 Xbox 360s already. Although, to be fair, I sold my last one when I needed some extra funds to buy my PS4. So, I missed out on Turok Evolution. I like Turok on the N64. It was a pretty cool first-person shooter and a cool exclusive at the time. So I remember hearing about this one being pretty good, and it's got dinosaurs in it. Dinosaurs are awesome. So I'm intrigued to find out what this one has to offer. If anyone has any words about how good or bad it is, be sure to leave them in the comments below. Awesome. Turok. And lastly is a game that I always thought got a little bit jilted at the time that it came out. I don't think this game got the credit that it quite deserved. Critics didn't really care for it and they called it too linear. I thought that it played pretty phenomenal for what it was, and it's something that I really hope that Sega brings back, because when Sega released that survey last year asking fans what they'd like to see again, one of the games I talked about the absolute most was Shinobi. And Shinobi on PlayStation 2 was a pretty fun game. This game was awesome. I enjoyed playing it. I loved the mechanics. It was a lot of fun. A really great action game that probably got overshadowed on a console that featured Devil May Cry, and eventually later on God of War. But this was a good one that Sega had made, and I kind of hope to see it again. Sega knows how to make games. Yeah, it's kind of fashionable to call them loony all the time, but they know games, and with stuff like this and Alpha Protocol, they still got it. And when Yakuza comes out, I really hope that puts Sega on a bit of a positive trend and they can gain some momentum, because very much like SNK, who blew me out of the water with King of Fighters 14, I hope that Sega makes a roaring comeback and brings back some of the classics with like a new modern take on them, or hey, maybe even some new ideas. So Shinobi on PlayStation 2. If you haven't played it, it's pretty awesome. And that sums up my gaming pickups over the last couple of weeks as a cotton ball. Well, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you later.